Welcome, seekers of hidden truths, to this journey beyond the veil. Before our tale unfolds, let us first consider two guiding words. Occult, which originates from the Latin occultus, meaning hidden or secret. It refers to the unseen forces and patterns that lie just beyond ordinary perception, waiting to be discovered by the curious and the courageous. Esoteric comes from the Greek esoterikos, meaning within or inner. It denotes the inner teachings reserved for those whose insight and dedication unveil deeper layers of meaning. Together, the occult and the esoteric invite us to embrace hidden wisdom, to peer into mysteries that stir the imagination and awaken the spirit. So, stay a while and listen, relax, and let these arcane currents guide you as our journey begins. Enjoy.
This episode of Reading Time with Rick is something more. It's a manifesto by C-137 Gonzo Rick. And if you ask me, it truly is a gift he has bestowed upon us. He calls it legalized usury, the crime hiding in plain sight.
Once condemned as a sin, now rebranded as business as usual. In ancient law, usury meant any interest. Lending for profit was condemned in the Torah, forbidden in the Quran, and outlawed by the medieval church. It was seen for what it was, theft dressed as virtue. Walk into any bank, the bright counters, the soothing logos, the tired faces of clerks trained to sell you a lifetime in chains, and you are entering one of the most successful confidence games in human history. That smell isn't a money. It's the smell of blood disguised in paperwork. We call it a mortgage. We call it a loan. But strip the paint off and it's usury. That same ancient sin that got money lenders driven from temples and dropped into the darker circles of Dante's hell. Here's the punchline. The system has convinced the public that it's normal, that paying back to 110% of what you borrowed is just the cost of doing business, that anyone who questions it is naive, uneducated, maybe even dangerous. That right there is the true genius of legalized usury. Not only does it bleed you dry, it makes you thank the butcher for sharpening his blade. The criminal code says usury means 60% a year, but that's a magic trick, focusing you on the annualized rate, while hiding the obscene reality that over decades, the banks take 2 or 3 times what they lent. The law calls it normal, history calls it slavery, and the borrower, still staring down a balance sheet, wondering why success feels like drowning. This is not progress, this is sleight of hand. Legislators buried the original meaning of usury and replaced it with a watered-down definition that allows banks to double or triple their take while claiming it's legal and respectable. This is not some clerical accident. This is by design. Politicians and regulators know it. Judges not along. They have enshrined this racket into law, laundering it with actuarial jargon and compounding equations that ordinary men and women aren't meant to understand. The mathematics are simple. You pay back 2 up to 3 times what you borrow. The public deserves clarity. Usury hasn't been abolished. It's been legalized. The law protects the bankers, not the borrowers. The courts measure annualized rates, ignoring lifetime repayment. The ancients knew better. To the Hebrews, Christians, and Muslims alike, usury meant any profit wrung from lending. Interest was theft disguised as virtue. But somewhere between the Crusades and Bay Street, the definition was rewritten. Now bankers wear the word interest like a badge of honor. What was once condemned as sin is rebranded as the engine of modern civilization. And make no mistake, the engine runs on you. On the worker making minimum payments, on the family stuck in a mortgage renewal cycle that never ends, on the disabled man whose benefits can be garnished but who still lives under the shadow of collection notices. This is structural servitude, a life financed in monthly installments until you die. But it doesn't have to be this way. The mathematics are simple. The veil can be torn. Show people the numbers in plain language. Borrow $300,000, pay back $636,000, and even a school child sees the scam. The only thing standing between society and liberation from this financial racketeering is the collective willingness to stop pretending it's normal. Ordinary citizens, locked in mortgages and car loans, living as debt serfs in a system designed to keep them paying until death. It is time to redefine the law. It is time to bring the original meaning of usury back into public consciousness. What was once condemned as a moral must no longer be celebrated as a business model. We need new definitions, new laws that measure debt by total repayment versus principal, not annualized distractions. We need to call a parasite, even when it's dressed in a 3-piece suit. And we need to remember the wisdom buried by centuries of legal trickery, that money is not meant to be worshipped, nor multiplied without labor, nor used to enslave entire populations in invisible chains. Hunter S. Thompson once said, in a closed society where everybody's guilty, the only crime is getting caught. In our open society, where everyone's in debt, the only crime is daring to call it usury. Borrowers deserve truth. Citizens deserve protection. It's time to legalize usury. This is Gonzo Rick Sanchez C-137. If spoon-feeding you raw and uncut truth won't wake you up, nothing will, and at that point I'll have lost all faith in this part of the multiverse. Thank me, I have my portal gun, and I can get the hell out of here. It's painful to watch lizard people fool my species like this. Gonzo, away I go.